India's GDP growth may surprise to the upside in financial year 2023. And now this is according to the RBI Governor Shaktikanta Das. The RBI Governor said this while speaking at the CII's annual session for 2023 organized in New Delhi. The Governor also said that high-frequency indicators monitored by the RBI, about 70 of them, have shown that economic activity has sustained momentum in the final quarter of FY 2023. Here's what the Governor had to say. Take a listen.
It will not be a surprise if the GDP growth of last year comes slightly above 7%. But let's stick to 7% for the time being. And the trends, the fourth quarter trends in particular, it initially appeared in the third quarter that there was a pent-up demand which was supporting economic activity. But all the economic indicators in the Q4 of last financial year, they saw that economic activity sustained momentum. And in fact, all the fast move, high frequency indicators, about 70 of them, which we monitor in the Reserve Bank of India, almost in all of these high frequency indicators, the momentum was maintained in Q4. So therefore, I will not be surprised. We should not be surprised if the growth is slightly more than 7%.
Speaking about inflation, the Reserve Bank Governor also said that while inflation has moderated in India, it is no reason for complacency and one must remain alert to challenges that may appear down the horizon, especially in reference to the El Nino effect that could play spoilsport for Indian monsoons. Now, the RBI Governor also said the RBI is assuming a normal monsoon for India over the next financial year, but inflation surprises could appear down the horizon. Now, India's CPI currently stands at 4.7% for the month of April, and this was down from 5.7% in March. Overall, the RBI's outlook for inflation has softened as compared to previous estimations, but the RBI Governor emphasized yet again that it is important to remain alert and watch out for inflation risks. Here's what he said. Take a listen.
The situation is extremely fluid. The situation is highly dynamic. And I would just like to say that the war on inflation is not over. We have to remain alert. There is no cause for complacency. Especially, we'll have to see how the El Nino factor, what has been anticipated, the El Nino, how it plays out.
Speaking about the MPC's decision to pause rate hikes in April, Reserve Bank of India's governor also said that the MPC's decision was driven by the consideration that 250 basis points worth of hikes have already been pushed to the system and one should examine how the effect of that plays out. The RBI governor also emphasized that certain surprise decisions taken by the MPC in the past have consequently proven to be the right decisions to be taken. Here's what he had to say about the MPC's thinking on policy matters. Take a listen.
I think looking back, I can say that we were prudent then when we decided to increase the rates by in a surprise meeting. And we are also prudent now when we have decided to take a pause. So it's a case of prudent then and prudent now. That's our assessment. I mean, somebody can disagree with that, but it gives us a lot of satisfaction that the markets, the industry, the business, and even the analysts have endorsed the decision of the Reserve Bank of India.
Finally, asked about why the RBI had just not allowed rupee 2000 notes to disappear from circulation on their own as opposed to taking a decision to withdraw them by September 30th, the Reserve Bank of India's governor said that in the RBI's observations, these notes are not commonly used for transactions. They have served their purpose of remonetizing the economy post-demonetization in November 2016, and also they can be unintended negative consequences of letting high-value currency remain in circulation. Here's what the RBI governor said regarding the decision to withdraw the notes.
Anecdotally, through our informal surveys, we found that 2000 rupee notes were not being used at all. I mean, it was being used, but not commonly used. That's what we came across. And having that kind of a note in circulation, and also this was introduced for a specific primarily for the purpose of putting back, replenishing the system with the value of the currency which got, whose legal tender status was withdrawn. And that purpose was fulfilled 5 years ago. And it was not commonly used in transactions. These are reasons which we have stated in our press note. Perhaps your concern comes from the fact that we have given 30th September as a deadline. And, if we had simply made an announcement that you return it could have happened. That is what you were saying. But in any process, unless there is a, unless there is a timeline, I said it, in fact, exactly, in this hotel 2 days ago, in my interaction with the media, I have already said that in any process, unless you give a timeline, it's not effective. So you need to give a timeline, and we have given sufficient time. Yesterday, there was no crowd anywhere. And we are monitoring the situation regularly. I don't think there is any concern or any major issue which is coming up, and the trade and the business activity is going on. But this note was also, had completed its life cycle. So you have expressed a view, but in our assessment, we thought that the purpose has been fulfilled. It's not being used in transactions. It has done its life, completed its life cycle. So it was time to take out that. And any high denomination currency just remaining here and there, it has other collateral, it can create other collateral issues. So therefore, we took this decision. The entire process will be non-disruptive. We have made our analysis about that.